course. I decided to not be a thinking man anymore.
I see. So, as I inevitably pull it up on a separate device to make sure that we are live, and I'm not live on my account, because that is something that usually happens.
Yo, guys, do you want me to just stream it and you guys?
I'm live.
Oh, bye.
Okay, well, it is working, so good news there. Yeah. So, first of all, good evening. Welcome, everyone, gamers of all sizes, of all ranks, of all... What else is there? Gaming backgrounds? I don't know. First, I am Kyle, Cherish, Fernie, Bottom 3 ADC. There's... I have to announce so many names. Joining me, at least... Okay. That's cool, dude. I was handed 3 links, 2 of which said Rams of Vendetta Blue Side. I'm pretty unless I'm just stupid.
End of the day.
Yeah, it said boy red side. Okay, well. Whatever.
Let's just say it doesn't matter too much. There's going to be some high octane League of Legends either way.
Something like that.
And just so you know, you're window capturing right now, so if there's anything you can see on your screen, it's on stream.
What do you mean?
I just see you doing the pro draft stuff on stream right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just making sure you didn't open up like a different tab with something else on it. I don't know.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, something like that. Okay, well, getting into it, joining me tonight in this extra scuffed start to the season. Our first game between the boys and the Rams of Vendetta. Connor, Mr. Cars 2. How are we feeling
ready
for this one?
Blue Chest says too quiet, so how about we crank us up? And I'm feeling great. We have youngest Lay's team, who interesting. They opted out of the pro draft and just started the game. Okay, and then one of them quit. Okay. But Youngest Lay's team, who performed very well last season because Youngest Lay basically dragged them over the finish line. And you have Elvino's new squad, who I know almost nothing about, which is very cool.
Yeah. So this season, let's see. 9IQ is, I think, in his preferred lane of mid. Past that, Bobby Frosch has not played apparently in a bit, but he was around for a little while here, back in the olden days, before a lot of these people were around. So not many people remember him. But back then, he was regarded as one of the best ADCs. So, with that being said, that's about all I know there. Very little on the rest of the other side. Youngest
Okay, and
Lay's
they're actually
team,
starting,
finally, at long last. Yeah. I mean, for Youngest Lay's team, it is, I mean, the usual. It is Youngest Lay. It is going to be just trying to focus and put him on something that he can very well carry on. Good news. While I'm sure he could carry on the Udyr, we won't be seeing that in all of its glory.
I'm assuming someone's a Yorick one trick on Youngest Lay's team, because I see no reason to ever ban that champion. Yeah. Udyr's very broken. I'm glad that's out of here already. I have okay, Olaf I think is a pretty decent ban. The only problem with the Olaf ban is Olaf just got hit pretty heavy on the lifesteal from his W plus the gore drinker nerfs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty unsure on Olaf myself right now. I don't know if he's still capable of being the big carry. I think there's other champion that can do it better now.
Yeah, that's the thing I think with Olaf is both nerfs were fine in their individual right, the Gore Drinker nerf and his lifesteal nerf, but when you put them together, it's very potent. How hard that nerf was. Last ban is apparently Malphite, which is going to
Allegedly.
enable a Hecarim insta-lock from the boys' side here. So I'm interested with that one. Okay.
Lee Sin, not a very strong pick, but
Okay.
the strength of a Lee Sin is usually just the strength of a player. So maybe he can just hard carry on it. We'll have to see. Uh, Name tags off. I definitely take the Hecarim.
Yeah.
Seraphine comes in too. Seraphine's been pretty powerful with the Groomstone build.
Hmm.
Kaisa
Yeah, Kaisa
with
into
the
Seraphine definitely feels weird. The Rel is another power pick that's been coming through. However, especially when flexed into that bottom lane in either ADC or support role, the Seraphine does pretty well into it. Um,
yeah.
so seeing the flex Seraphine, just considering that it can go 3 different roles, um, feels very scary. However, the misfortune really gives away that that will be a support Seraphine because those two are just very potent. The heavy slow on Misfortune's E will allow Seraphine's E to just hit her own and root up rather than just getting the its own heavy slow. But already it feels like Red Side's draft, frankly, is a little weird because you have
I think
two
that was a Shen
heavy.
ban, but it
Okay,
bugged out,
is it?
by the way. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it is a Shen ban that bugged out. We saw. It's insane that you recognize that in a quarter of a second.
I know.
Master eyes, big eyes, all eyes that were getting ready today for Honey Pop 2. But yeah, it feels weird drafting Seraphine and MF together, and pairing it with a Lee Sin who uh, doesn't really team fight well outside of the single kick. It definitely favors itself to pick comps and then to draft entire like heavy team fight regardless of where you pivot the Seraphine to. It feels really weird to see the Lee Sin the further on that this draft goes on. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I like the Seraphine and Misfortune if you just isolate them in bot lane. I actually think that they win that lane pretty decently against the Rel Kaisa. You can
Oh
kind of
yeah.
just zone them out. But I definitely think Hecarim, Kaisa, Rel, all three of them, much better comps so far. Their team fighting just so good. We've seen the Rel Kaisa combo. You Taric connect to Kaisa, Kaisa jump behind them, easy stuns, easy CC lock. Maybe an Oriana. I don't know what their mid laner plays, but Oriana works really well with her
Ooh.
too. And that's a Lulu. Maybe a Lulu top, maybe a Seraphine mid. Who knows? I am curious what they respond with.
Well, there is currently questions that the Lulu was not an accident pick. But yeah, I really like Rams draft with the Lulu coming in now just because of the sheer flexibility that they have in this entire draft. Now another power pick that's just kidding. Um
I'm curious if they lock this in. They're hovering the Oriana right now.
yeah.
Victor is a great control mage that also
Okay.
works with the Rel.
I was going to say that I was going to comment as well that the Victor's doing really well right now as it is a set top locked in. And then I was like, why are they hovering Oriana? Like it mental boomed me for a second that they would look at Oriana. So that being said,
And
Urgot
Urgot.
comes in.
That's weird.
And I think that means it's a Seraphine bot, but the Seraphine mid rather. The Urgot is very weird, especially in isolation with Set. Like, that's not a counter matchup.
Does Urgot win post 9? I don't know. He might.
I couldn't tell you, considering I haven't seen Urgot since preseason. I have zero clue what Urgot does and what he builds. Like if he just goes raw tank or if he does something funky or what. But like I don't think this was an Urgot spot, to be honest. There wasn't much left in the pool with Malphite, Shen, Camille Band. So you're already starting to cut it down. But even then, I'd argue, as much as I dislike the champion, a Gnar might have even fit in better into this spot.
Yeah, Gnar could have been pretty good. I was gonna say Malphite, but I think that was banned. That was one of the
Yes.
hidden bans. Yeah, pretty difficult choice there. I think Urgot might be fine. I think that's the least of their problems in what they drafted.
Yeah.
We'll have to see what Youngest Slay can
Well, the thing
do.
is,
Yeah.
actually, I was gonna say, the Lulu Misfortune doesn't really fit all that well.
Wait a minute.
Unless
You're just assuming.
Oh, yes, my bad. We'll have to see where they line up too.
I have a feeling might be Lulu mid.
I see.
Muslim Nunu, their mid laner, was awfully quick to say that the Lulu pick wasn't an accident. He was awfully fast.
He was pretty quick on that.
Changed scenes. I don't think it mattered too much, but that's what Bruneath said. I'm assuming he meant like the in-game draft, but we're just we haven't started the waiting time yet, so I guess there's no real reason to change.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I don't know. That feels weird. Like, why do we need to watch them lock in every pick when we have the same thing on the screen?
It's even better if you're looking at this one. I guess maybe you can see role selection, but
yes,
it doesn't really matter.
I'll swap it when the timer starts for us.
Yeah.
But so currently, okay, it is for the time being
Lulu mid. It looks like
Lulu mid.
Yep.
Also, I don't have a scene for my client. Apparently, I have a scene for not my client, but not the client.
I will wait for you to be better.
I do not tolerate
So,
cowardice.
Okay, whatever. It's just not showing up. That's fine. What else is there to talk about? So it is Misfortune Seraphine, which I definitely would have thought if you draft Seraphine and Lulu together and then you swap the two into a Lulu support instead of Seraphine, I think that's a bit troll. Just because the nature of Seraphine in a duo lane, she's been seeing a lot more success bot lane than she has in mid. So I'm interested. I'm glad rather that they did not swap that up. Past that, what else is there to talk about? I mean,
yeah, I think a big focus of this game should just be on the low damage that Youngest Lay's team has.
Yeah.
They the pressure is on them in the first 10-20 minutes of the game to get a huge lead and then win. If they allow the game to just go on, they should just lose out to the Victor Kaisa comp. It's very difficult to win at that point unless MF is hard carrying, but you're drafting two supports and Elisa in jungle. It's just so difficult.
Yeah, Lee Sin is not exactly the hyper carry threat that other champions are known for. But
Gosh,
what?
they're begging to show client. Okay, show the client.
Good news, bad news. I can't show the client. It's not showing up. I have it popped in, but it's just not showing up. So I don't know.
Have you tried window capture?
Yes.
And not. Ooh. Okay, what are you gonna do? Honestly.
Cry. Here we can make a scene right now as we speak. Oh, look at that. League of Legends client. All right,
Don't
now
worry,
we
guys.
can all look at it. Oh,
I've got you
boy.
guys covered.
Yeah, thanks, Connor, because this was a necessary thing that had to be done for the next 2 minutes to stare at this. So
We'll see. We'll see.
all told, yeah, Misfortune's not exactly a tank killer, and while Hecarim is not exactly really the beefiest of the bunch, he is like subtly tanky in the sense that with Conqueror, with Visage, if he ends up going that route, or with Death Dance and Gage, he ends up very strong and very like pseudo tanky. So Misfortune's gonna have a problem with that being like the lone threat, and Set also just goes straight tank, I assume. If I feel like if you're building him any other way, like if you're building him Stride Breaker, you're just straight trolling. I think Rel gets very tanky as well. So you already said it. It is all right now on red side to get ahead in the first like 10 minutes of the game. Even past that, even like if you're not knocking more plates than the blue side is, I think red side is really struggling to pave the way into late game. So it'll be very interesting to see, especially considering Victor Kaisa is a very scary proposition to go up against a very immobile team, especially when Hecarim and Rel can very much enable Kaisa and Victor to get into this very immobile team.
I don't know if Youngest Lay plays him or them, I guess, but I would really like to see an AP jungler from him. Maybe you switch up the comp a little bit and you have like Karthus be your main AP damage. That would have been huge here, I think. Would have been a lot easier to win the game. You're worrying only about Hecarim really for getting onto you. And you have Lulu Seraphine for Peel. I think that would have been a pretty good pick here.
Yeah. Karthus would have been good. Get a Karthus in the jungle, Yone in the mid instead?
I don't know if Muslim Nunu can play Yone.
Well, I'm just like thinking in theory at this point.
Yeah. I think normally I would be like, yeah, let's just have all the AD so Karthus can do the most damage. But Lulu and Seraphine are already doing like null damage. All the damage on their team at this point is AD entirely.
Alright, give me a second to figure out why the stream is not like my scenes are just bugging at this point. So I have to figure this out.
Embarrassing. I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh, just kidding. It's not bugging anymore, I think. Nope, we're good. It just freezes every time that I tap out.
Egg on our faces.
What'd you say?
I said egg on our faces.
So, this is gonna be a very
the game now, okay? Can we stop talking about the client and show the game?
My bad. A big thing I think to point out is actually I don't know. Just raw off of drafts, like nameplates not included.
Do you have the game up?
It should be.
Okay. I might be delayed. Okay. Just making sure. Just keeping everything crystal. So what were you saying?
Nameplates covered right now. I think red side has to do the absolute most here, just to like have a shot.
Yeah, definitely.
Just Kaisa Rel, like Kaisa innately is going to be weaker in lane, and she really likes to just
Press the U key to hide the timestamp thing. And Kaisa Rel wants to.
Yeah, Kaisa Rel really wants to oh wow, I'm gonna fix up the overlay stuff. I don't know where they want to see this icon.
Go, Fernie.
Bro, alright. Ow, 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 ow. Thank you. Yeah, so Kaisa is very fine with just playing a passive lane and just letting herself scale up. She doesn't like these heavy-handed ADCs like Misfortune and stuff. So, it's completely fine too, especially considering Lulu has no kill threat on Victor. It's completely fine for blue side to just play really just passively, try and look for counter ganks on Younger Slay on Lee Sin, and just wait to outscale this enemy team.
Yeah, I definitely am going to be paying attention to what Youngest Lay is doing. Lulu actually getting the push onto Victor early. And as you would predict, MF Seraphine getting the push onto Rel Kaisa. I want to see what Youngest Lay does post red buff. It looks like he might be looking mid lane right now to try to save his compadre. We'll see. He gets the E off. He gets a quick Q. He's not going to follow it. He down. No, he will follow 1 auto, 2 auto, and 3, and that's first blood. And the tower does not do enough to kill him.
That was interesting. That was also a very fat level 1 Lulu shield. As now, Elvina's in the
Level 3 Lulu death, the relentless pursuit. Alright, that's Lucian. Relentless charge, maybe? Yeah, easy kill either ways.
Yeah, devastating charge from the Hecarim. Just runs down the poor little portal. Feel kind of bad, but also it's Lulu, so kind of deserves it.
Yeah. Puts it at 1 for 1. Lee Sin securing that Scuttle Crab bot side. Hecarim doing the same up top.
Little scuttle trade, and I mean, outside of that was a really weird exchange. I don't think nothing ever should have been in.
Another gank onto Victor turns him into a squirrel. An E, an auto. Let's see if he's able to get on. And another Q lands the kill for Lee Sin. Youngest Lay has a couple under his belt right now. Hecarim coming up with the charge onto Urgot. Urgot dashes. Is he able to get out? Conqueror procs for the set, but the flash comes out from the Urgot to save his life.
I noticed too that Major Chris is maxing his Q in this lane, which feels weird. Just because it is percent max HP damage, so it is kind of nice, I guess, against Urgot, but it's not like a meaningful amount. So I don't know. That's a very interesting one, to be sure.
Also, going bot lane, looking for a quick gank. And gets right with the Rel engage. Lay the Q onto Kaisa, and the flash from MF will land the kill. Double exhaust comes out. This should be another kill onto Rel. A couple autos, Conqueror procs release in. It goes over to MF. That's very ideal.
Well, I mean, the exact thing that I think we were saying at the beginning of this game. They need to do the most, and I think while pathing equally to Albino farm-wise, Youngest Lay is currently doing the most for his team here. So, he's going Eclipse as well. I think that is probably better than the Gore Drinker option, especially in a carry situation that he needs to be in.
And the Gore Drinker nerf makes it a lot worse.
Also,
too.
yeah, the nerfs that did come in are
Looking for a
way worse.
Looking for a lane gank on the set right now.
Yeah.
See if anything can happen. He has no idea, but Set is just innately scared of the Urgot because of the level 6, level 5 disadvantage. So nothing's gonna happen there. I'm interested to see if there's going to be any contestation of the top scuttle from Lee Sin.
To be fair, it was also kind of weird in a way for the Urgot to path the way that he did. He pushed up very aggressively.
Try brush. Oh, that gets the pop. And it should be a couple more autos onto the set. And the Urgot ult comes out. Lee Sin's walking into the brush. He's kiting with the Conqueror. Q comes in, and it's an easy kill into Hecarim as well. Very fast. Camera change. But we got the we got the kills.
Yeah, able to get up there, thankfully. But that being said, that is almost 7 minutes now. We have 6 out of 6 kill participation onto Youngest Lays Lee Sin. He is very much doing work. In the meantime,
last stream fix, Olive Wisher, was that the team logos are on the wrong side, which would be because you thought the teams were supposed to be on that side.
well, considering that the logos were labeled the boys red, and Rams of Vendetta blue side, I would have to assume that those were the sides, not inverted.
Yep.
But anyway, back to the game. Kai'Sa's weak laning phase is being exemplified right now. He is down 50 CS and 9 IQ going for this.
Should be a pretty easy live for Lulu. Might even be a counter gank. Lee Sin going in with the quick insect, and he's autoing the Hecarim down. Conqueror pops for both of them. He has to get off of this Victor W. He's able to kill the Victor, and Hecarim's able to get his last Q with his remaining mana and kill the Lee Sin. Muslim Nunu just went a little bit too far there. They weren't able to finish off the Victor in time, and that gave some inches to the blue side.
Yeah, Muslim Nunu is very cautious, or rather not. Holding his flash definitely feels weird.
Oh, okay.
Or it's. I mean, I guess to be fair, he wasn't expecting Youngest Lay to kick the Hecarim on top of him. So that is definitely a play that happened.
Victor, but yeah.
What'd you say?
I think he kicks Victor, right?
Oh, he might have actually then.
Oh.
Oh no, you're right. He did kick the Victor. And Elvino did also. The strength of Hecarim really showing there. But yeah, it definitely feels okay. It feels good to get the shutdown, obviously. Not as good as it normally would feel to put it onto the Victor and finally get him somewhere in this lane, just because, especially without kill investment into the Victor, or just general money investment into him, the Lulu running this Groomstone build, the Moonstone and Staff Flowing Water build, is definitely going to be spiking earlier, obviously, just by nature of the build, just because you get, I think, the 2 items at 4,800 gold, I believe. So it's a very strong pair of items.
Nunu going in for the invade onto the Hecarim. We're looking for the quick steal on the blue buff. Wasn't able to make it happen. And it just leaving. That was a bold pursuit into the Hecarim jungle.
So, update as well. Apparently, I'll have to pull off that.
And Urgot is able to get the jump onto set. Are they able to get the last few auto that they need? The set W comes out to give him a quick shield, and Hecarim does nothing but smite the Lulu.
I mean, as I was saying, we kind of find out now that Lulu happens to, or Urgot happens to go either Stridebreaker or Goredrinker, thanks to that Iron Spike Whip. I got the name on that one. What?
And Hecarim comes in with the charge onto Lulu. Lulu immediately ults the Lee Sin, but to her own demise. She needed the help for herself. We'll have to see if Youngest Lay is able to clean up here. He gets a couple more autos onto the Rift Herald. That's not what he wants. And in the meanwhile, Kai'Sa's dead. And with the screen flopping back and forth, FF goes for the double kill. Then they're also able to clean up top side. Set's the only one remaining for the blue side.
I really love directed camera because I was focused in on that fight, and then all of a sudden I look down bot, and Kaiserel are 25% HP. Just getting absolutely blasted. So, what we learned here is that if you pick a very strong bot duo into a very weak laner, things go well for the very strong bot duo. As MF has gone Kraken here, which I guess makes sense.
It makes a lot with against the set, the Hecarim, the Rel. I think it'll help you in overcoming the mid-game spike. I know Gale Force is probably more preferable in like avoiding the all-ins from the Hecarim, but I think it's just so necessary to be able to close out the game.
Yeah, that's very fair. I don't think that it's more preferable in... It's just giving MF a movement skill is very nice, even if it is even if it is 90 seconds. It is very nice to have that bonus movement on MF, as I believe the set is either going Trinity or I don't remember what Hearthbound Axe builds into. It's either Trinity or Stridebreaker, I think. So I think that is the wrong choice. I think you should just go full tank on the set at this point. If you're gonna try and body slam the Urgot on him, you're not really picking this set in this position, especially to like outduel much.
Hecarim looking for a charge into the bot side. Lee Sin gets an immediate Q onto him, and he had to charge right out and ult too. The exhaust went onto him. The Lulu teleport came out, and they're looking to just drop the Herald at this point. A couple of autos, and now that Herald's going to kill the turret. They're looking to go farther though.
Yeah, we've got a massive lead at this point, up to 5,000 gold at 13 minutes, which sounds almost comedic, how far ahead Red side is. And granted, again, they have just done the absolute most to get ahead. They may even crack the bot tower. Frosh is waiting for it in the meantime.
And with remember, the tier 2 tower don't regen. Okay, they go for it, but they didn't have to. This is good at that point. Dragon's also within a minute of spawning.
So good news. With the tier 2 down bot, they can freeze.
They could freeze.
Scale.
But this is VCU Almeida.
Also,
And
I don't
VCU
really think this is
high octane gameplay.
I mean, considering the champions actually that are on the side of Rams of Vendetta, I actually don't think the freezing option here down bot would be all that bad. They don't have any engage outside of Lee Sin, Ward Hop, or Flash Kick, or Seraphine getting the most clutch, like, 4-man ult pass through on her teammates into the enemy team. So it's a very non-aggressive team comp in these later stages of the game, just because they have to really wait either on Youngest Lay to do something otherworldly, really, or they have to wait on blue side to get antsy and get ahead of things. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen, and they are opting instead to just force shove out the box side.
Oh no, Lulu actually got ult Lee Sin. Yeah, he's had to walk out now. Luckily, he has that Lulu ult on him, giving him that extra size while they're pushing up the top lane. I'm very shocked that Lulu didn't die there after that faux pas. But I think freezing it just would have been super beneficial for the blue side, just because all you want is time. You want to buy yourself as much time as possible, and Hecarim goes in with the charge onto Lee Sin. Lee Sin healing so much. But it doesn't matter, because the fear comes out, the E comes out, and Rel does her jump thing. Nice, and that's able to get a quick kill onto the Hecarim. Seraphine ult comes out onto the Rel. A couple more autos, one more auto, and that should be another easy kill. A very quick collapse turned into 3 deaths for the blue side.
The thing is, I don't even think that's blue side like overstating their role. That's a really good rotation on the side of Rams of Vendetta. They were able to come up in through the river really quickly, getting onto that red side. So, all in all, good answers from the side of Rams of Vendetta.
It's the rotations you can afford to make add the Urgot, since that top lane turret was destroyed. And Kaisa comes in for the ult, the Whimsy or whatever comes out, and it doesn't matter. MF is just barely not able to get the kill. Kaisa burns her flash and heal. Another TP comes in for the Victor. Is he able to do anything? The W pops. It might just be a wasted effort, but the Relentless Charge, or whatever it's called, comes in too. That's an Urgot flip onto the Rel as well. Should be another kill. And it is. They're looking for one more, and that one more is Victor. MF raw movement speed to get over, but the Urgot snipe comes in, and he eats her alive. The only objective on the map right now will be Herald spawning in less than 15 seconds. I'll have to see if Youngest Lay wants to go for that after their advantage.
Well, that advantage is massively expanding at this point. MF is essentially an entire item over top the Kaisa. The Arctic Sensor will now be coming out for the Lulu instead of the Staff of Flowing Water, just because the main carry threats are not really AP. There are some AP scalings on MF's, obviously Herky I think has 100% or 80%. It's 1-2. Q has a low percentage, I think. And I know her ult has a low percentage, or maybe it's a high one. Who knows? But the Ardent Sensor is going to help both her and Lee Sin. So, that Collector's second as well is really just going to expand this lead even further here for the red side, just because the MF ult works so well with that Collector, each wave just doing so much damage, and the whole ult as a whole is
And Rel comes in for a hop, but you get polybroke immediately. The Lulu's stuck onto the W, but they're able to kill the Rel so quickly. Lulu's getting killed so much. She's dead though. The nice Zet ult comes in. They're able to collapse onto this Fortune. That's another one dead. Seraphine's dead. Lee Sin's just barely able to die as well because he went back in, and Urgot's gonna get melted by the Victor. That was a rough fight for the red side. That's definitely not what you want when you need to get the quickest soul possible with how early game your comp is.
Yeah, and especially it being an Infernal Soul would do wonders for red side. There have currently been, I think, 12 things sent out about the Infernal Drake being up in the next couple of seconds. So.
But they are spawning right now. Maybe they can get right over there before it gets too low. We'll have to see how quickly they're able to melt it without their Kaisa.
Yeah, Lulu Seraphine, you can kind of sprint over there if you want, but I think this Drake...
They're just immediately giving. It would have been a coin flip if they would have made it there on time. No point in trying, I guess. But you definitely do need that Inferno Soul if you are the side of Rams.
Yeah, I don't think the game is outright doomed yet for Rams. They still have a massive lead of nearly 5K. So it will be a good hit going ahead. And it's just really interesting to have to see how they're going to want to work around this, because they don't exactly have the world's greatest teamfight comp. They have MF Seraphine and then Lulu and I guess Urgot in what you can call some argument of a teamfight comp as the youngest lane.
Getting caught out again.
Okay.
Kaisa just pops him. Not much you can do into the Kaisa Rel, and they should be able to take a pretty easy Baron here. We're going to be looking for a pretty large Seraphine ult to be able to salvage this, but it seems very unlikely at this point with how they're positioning. They're not even looking for the fight. They might be looking for the steal, but Karuz on the Rel is coming around. And that's a huge Seraphine ult. The Gravity also comes in, and they're able to get Wombo combo about the set, the Hecarim, and it's just Urgot remaining. He's able to get the one kill onto the Victor, but it doesn't matter.
Well,
rough fight
yeah.
for the red
Not
team
great.
yet again. Yeah, they're deciding to give it up. They don't believe they can avoid a Lee Sin steal, I guess. I don't know. It seemed like the freest Baron, but now instead they're going for 0 objectives.
All right. I mean, you have Kaisa, who has some very strong neutral target or neutral objective damage because of that passive. And the Hecarim is going to offer a lot as well. And in general, that I think would just be a very fast Baron. Even if Youngest Slay was there, if the Rel were to position correctly, or even the set, then it would have ended up being a very safe one, I think, even at that. Just because you can get a stun off onto the Lee Sin with the set off of the Baron not having to move, or you could get a Rel stun with someone. It's just feels very, very overly cautious, frankly. And granted, I can understand why, given the opening of the game, but it just feels way too cautious here on the blue side.
You're gonna have to drop the Herald here. It's nearly ran out, yeah, and he drops it right there down mid lane. Luckily, not into Baron minions. And Hecarim coming in with the ult, lands it on a few, and it's another Wombo combo. We're gonna have to see if MS ult will do any damage here, and it does absolutely nothing. It's just the comp diff coming through at this point in the game. Nothing much you can do at this point. This is definitely a Baron they're gonna take. You're getting the 5 for 0. You don't have to worry about the Youngest Slay steal. That was rough. Another rough one. The rough is my word of the day for the red team post 15 minutes fight.
Well, they have now succumbed their first gold lead since the very beginning of the game. And I think even if he is 2-7, you can just tell the difference between the victor and the loser. Just having that AP threat in your team is doing wonders for blue side, and they've managed to come all the way back off of the back of just being able to really work with the Hecarim. And I think the Hecarim has been a fantastic pick so far for Elvin. It's enabled a lot of fights that otherwise would have gone sour, I think, if there was a much more passive pick. And even if he gets picked away on his first sprint forward, he has his second ult, or he has his ult rather, in the Onslaught of Shadows. It is just so much flexibility from this blue side that they're able to pick and choose when and where they want to fight, and really enable or manipulate these fields of fighting to how they want to fight. And I think we're going to see that same exact style of fight here around this second Infernal Drake that is coming up very soon.
Yeah, the Rams are just playing the boys' game at this point. They are taking the standard 5v5s that, of course, they're going to be losing at this point in the game because of just the sheer team fight comp difference. You need to be looking for picks. You need to be playing, using some guerrilla warfare to be getting your victories at this point. And they're going in again with another same ulti combo. The MF ult comes in again and does absolutely no damage again, but the Youngest Slay is able to get a single pick this time. So pretty good for Rams. They got a 1-for-5 trade.
Looking good post 15. Well, you kind of got to think that fight is the nail in the coffin. The combination of the Rel ult, that Magnet Storm, is what I think it's called. Yes, Magnet Storm. It's a very boring name for it.
What do magnets even do, honestly? How do they work?
Magnets. Once you get down to brass tacks, what are magnets? But
yeah, I think Urgot should definitely be split pushing this game. He's now down 2 levels against the set. Urgot never should have left top lane, in my opinion. You just try to get as strong as possible on that champion. The 5v5 is not going to go in your favor.
Yeah. Not sure why. Okay, there we go. Well, somehow Karus is going to get out. What is happening here?
Yeah,
Why
very
is he allowed to
interesting.
live?
Yeah, Urgot does have the ult too, and just decided not to fire it. I think it might have just killed him at that health.
No, it would have. There was the execute icon on.
Interesting. But a victory for the red team. Topside scuttle.
Yeah, huge, as now the 5K gold lead has shifted in favor of 4K for the blue side, for the boys.
Hey, I got a 3.7 after that.
Oh,
Slick
my
double pick.
sincerest of apologies. Well,
Next objective is going to be that Baron in about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And they do catch out Muslim Nunu again. He goes for the flash, and all he's doing is saying, hey, I'll die and to put my flash on cooldown.
yeah, and I think a big thing, too, to think of when you're looking at these summoner spells is he won't have flash for that next dragon fight when that objective comes up in about 3 minutes time here. So that just enables the MF, or rather the Magnet Storm Onslaught of Shadows, whatever Victor's called, Chaos Storm.
Yeah, of course.
The double Storm duo. That just enables that pairing so much more. And that's already proven to be so destructive and just destroying this red side.
Yeah, it's hard for them to do anything right now. You have to just split push. You have to play from your base, play for waves. Hopefully you can get the Urgot a bit stronger, but right now the entire team is pretty useless. There's not much you can do. MF's not even doing any damage. Her ult does absolutely nothing in these team fights.
Yeah. I think, oh wow, it's interesting to see how Kim was up nearly 4,500 gold about 10 minutes ago, and now her and Roach are even. So it's very close now in terms of a lot of lanes, and some lanes are past their opponents. 9IQ is up about 3,000 gold, if not a little less, over to Lulu. Granted, Lulu is going for that support build, so it does benefit, or gold differences like that don't operate the same way, I guess. Just because she has a lower gold income necessary to meet the same standards. At the same time, she's not in her own right like a damage threat. She is just there to enable her teammates, and specifically that Lee Sin, who we just haven't seen carry the same as early on.
Looks like Urgot's getting caught out. Before I can even finish my sentence, he's dead. A quick Taisa kill, as always, and they're going to be pushing into this bot turret. There's so little you can do with the Rams at this point. You just need a miracle team fight where somehow the blue team flubs all of their ultis, and you get the 5-0.
Yeah, I think their only hope at this point is that either someone pulls up their 6th monitor and hits the DDoS attack, or all of the boys have to turn off their monitors for a funny haha. As Seraphine ult.
Losing the first VCU LCS game would be a funny joke.
Yeah. It would similarly be funny to only charm 3 caster minions with your Seraphine ult.
That was actually a pretty good prank too. I think that Eric's XP, that's what I'm gonna call it, is doing his best to make light of this harsh situation that they found themselves in. A third Infernal Drake going over to the Elvino and the Elvinos.
She's just trying to get any fans to come her way. Oh, that one's mean. Also, on the side of Muslim Nunu, he did not go
played
down
so
slow.
quietly.
He went redemption on the Lulu.
Interesting, and it should be another Baron pickup for the blue side unless Youngest Lay is able to make a miracle happen. If he steals this, then probably nothing will change, but it would be pretty cool. We'll see what happens.
Are we just not gonna cast it? Because
sorry. I was lost in the sauce a bit. There's nothing much to say. I'm just disappointed. They didn't even give Youngest Lay the chance to steal it. They just hopped right off it. They did the intelligence move and hopped right off it.
Yeah.
Come on.
How dare the boys
Let it
play
happen.
with the brain? Well, in shades of Ichi Lulu here, that faded game, that ill-fated game from last fall. It's Puzzle Nunu running 1 and 10 units, and this is just, in general, I think this could be the end.
I think so. They're pushing down the turret. They're pushing down the Nexus. Can we get one more Seraphine ult? And it hits 3 this time. That's one more kill for the MF. Pad the stats a bit, and that's a game over. Over to the side of Elvino and the boys.
Well,
Huge draft gap. Huge draft gap.
a bit. Yeah, that was definitely a world-sized draft gap. I mean, even though he got just a target put on his back and his front the entirety of the beginning of the game, the Victor managed to do the most damage in the entire game at 30,000. I want to see the very fun healing to champions. As somehow, yes, it looks like the Hecarim healed the most, more than both Moonstones, which I did not get to check at the end of things.
And the Victor was actually pumping out the damage. The king of that Wombo combo is not even the CC, it's the Chaos Storm. Doing the brutal amounts of damage to the enemy team.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, obviously his KDA doesn't show just how oppressive that whole... I mean, granted, it was, like we said, it was that draft difference, and it was just a compositional difference, but still, it just shows how integral that Victor was to that Rel Hecarim duo, because they just popped each other's ults on top of one another, and that just let Victor, alongside that Death Ray, that double hitting E, that just pumped even more damage into the fray.
Yeah, rough game. We'll have to see if Youngest Lay in the Rams of Vendetta, they're storming Vendetta to take over the VCU LCS after their heartbreaking playoff performance. We can maybe draft a little bit differently next time. Maybe at least put another source of damage on your team besides the Misfortune. Because the damage coming out of the Lulu and the Seraphine in this game, you can look for yourself. Even the Urgot peaks that their damage out of the 3 on 10k. And then there's 8k out of the Lulu and 7k out of the Seraphine. It just it's so criminally low.
Yeah, and I think especially outside of that early damage work, the Lee Sin did not add much to that, to his damage charts.
Hello?
Rather. So,
Anyone there?
This is
hello.
Karuz.
We've got
Hello,
Karuz
hello.
in here.
I am Darrell.
Yeah,
What's
so, quick little interview for you. First of all, congrats on the very big come from behind win.
Thanks.
To be fair, you guys were very behind early on.
We
Was
were,
there-
yeah, we did. We did have some inting plays, but
What was like?
we did.
I don't know, mental comms. What was the game plan at the beginning there?
Yeah, when I was 0-2, I was feeling it a little bit. I was feeling a little tilted, but I think everyone else and our comms, we were pretty calm actually the entire time. And even then, we were down. We still like joked around. We were like, okay, we just gotta get to late game and pull through. So honestly, you didn't. If we did get tilted, then we definitely would have lost. But I think we persevered pretty good.
All right. Yeah. So, was that? I mean, going into this game, obviously, there's jokes about Youngest Lay kind of just playing five supports. I mean, was that? I don't know how to word it. Did you guys like draft with any intent, or did you guys just, draft whatever you were comfortable on?
We definitely for sure didn't want Youngest Lay on a super carry champ like Olaf or Hecarim. we were really afraid of Hecarim, so that's why we took it. And then he chose Lee Sin, and I think we all had like a sigh of relief because we didn't think that. At least I don't feel like he could have like carried hardcore with the Lee Sin. We did. We were kind of confused on where the Lulu and Seraphine were going. We thought at first Seraphine was going to go mid, but then when Champ selects, it was going Lulu. Or Lulu was going mid. So, yeah.
All right. Connor, do you have questions?
Yeah. After the draft, did you think, wow, our draft is so much better? It would be such a colossal throw to lose this game. Or did you think these drafts are pretty even?
We definitely did think we won draft super hardcore, and even during the game, we were like, "There's no way we could lose with this draft. There's just actually no way." I think it was pretty big draft diff, even though they tried and use Grimstone on us, but it didn't work.
Yeah, you need someone to stone if you're gonna groom stone. And they had an early game ADC, but you guys all played very well. The rel coming in hot, your engages were pretty nutty.
Thanks.
Good job.
Yeah. No problem.
Now leave.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Appreciate it,
I see
Steven.
how it is.
Good
I
luck.
see how it is. I see how it is.
Hey, good
Yeah,
luck in your
whatever.
future games.
You try to drop a hint for a guy.
Wow, that's rude. Actually, really. Oh. All right. Well, that's fine. I was just gonna ask if they have any teams that they're looking out for on the horizon, but with that being said, as Connor has rudely kicked out our poor friend Steven, Mr. Caruso. Yeah, I think that is where we end.
It was fun, guys. Great game. Let's hope that it's a little bit more competitive tomorrow. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
I'm just
hopefully we don't
a
get
big
another...
VCU LCS fan, and I want to see the
hopefully
best
we don't
VCU
get another
LCS game.
C9 TSM type game here. That we just
Yeah, I don't know why
witnessed.
you have to say that.
I mean, well, because it just happens that one of our favorite teams is the best in the LCS right now, and one of them is looking like a bottom 3 team.
Okay, cut the stream. Cut the stream.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in control of it, so I could kind of just we could just spitball here. We could just talk about how Hooney is apparently a good.
Okay, guys, it was a great stream. Good work. Good work to Fernie. What a fantastic caster. Later.
All right. He's left me in the call alone, so thank you guys for watching. And yeah, hope you guys have a good night. Stay tuned. I believe there's a game coming on tomorrow at 8 p.m. That one is going to be casted by someone else. I'm not sure who. But with that being said, yeah, thank you guys and have a good night.